trip, huh?
Yeah.
On a tour of America's most famous UFO hotspots.
I hear that.
Hi. I'm Paul.
A labour of love that stemmed from a rainy day on the set of Shaun of the Dead. Why and how the rain in London decided that you were going to make a film about an alien?
It was a flippant joke pitch that we levelled at our producer, Naira Park, who's been with us since the day one on Spaced, and she kind of jokingly said, can't we make a film somewhere where it doesn't rain so much? Because we were having some real problems shooting the throwing the records at the zombies scene in Shaun of the Dead, and it took us weeks to shoot it because we kept having to go back, and, you know. So Nick and I thought, all right, well, it's a film and it's set in the desert, and there's no rain in the desert, so it's a desert in America, so we can go to America. It's Area 51 as an alien. It's two British tourists and an alien, and the alien's just really ordinary, and his name's something like Paul. And then
it's quite easy after that.
Yeah. And then Edgar went off to do Scott Pilgrim, and but it left me and Nick thinking, well, what should we do while he's gone? Because we've got some time to fill before we do World's End. And we thought, let's do Paul. And so we did. We've managed to dupe working title in Universal into going with Slacker versus Zombies and Cop in Village, you know. So, I mean, Alien and Nerds doesn't sound that much weirder than either of those two.
Did you guys ever have any of these moments? I guess you've been working with Mr. Spielberg for a little while on a couple of his little projects, some of which may be coming out later in the year. But
I think that young man is going to do all right for himself.
You know,
by the way,
he's got a lot of moxie, that kid.
If you do a good take that he likes, he'll come on and do a little dance, and he'll punch the air.
That's in the movie.
That's what he'll say. It's amazing.
We had days with him, and we kind of like, you know, we'd be sat at the video village with him like a couple of puppies, just sort of like watching what he's doing, and then say, so what was it like making Close Encounters, Stephen? And then he'd just sort of tell us, because he's like, you know, he's a very laid-back, ordinary kind of guy, and he doesn't have any false modesty, and he also doesn't crow very much, so you have to prompt him, but he will tell you stories. And we go, yeah, oh, interesting. And then we'd leave the studio and go outside and go,
how hard is it for you to kind of take on the mantle of leading man status?
Well, you know, it's... what you see on screen isn't necessarily the dynamic of our own relationship. We have been friends for 18 years, so it's never like I'm jealous that he's doing his little indie pics. You know, it's what is good for Simon is good for us, you know. And
when we did with Shaun and Hot Fuzz, that was me and Edgar writing it, and we wrote it for me as the main character, and Nick would play the second lead. You know, that was always the way it was. With Paul, it was always going to be a double header. It was going to be Nick and me in the not the title roles. That's Paul, but you know, as the two other leads. And and we also wanted to play with the dynamic a little bit, so that, you know, Graham is a little shyer. He's a little more. He's not so socially adept as Clive, even though Clive's no particular, you know, like brilliantly socially adept as Clive. But he's the butch and I'm the bitch in that relationship, and usually it's the other way around.
I like this song, Stoke the Fire.
Pitched that idea for Paul. It was like, the idea was that he was very normal, wasn't it? It was like he was just a sort of trash talking, and the aliens in the movie were Graham and Clive. That's how it is, really. I mean, if anyone is an alien in the film, it's them, and Ruth as well to an extent. And we kind of realised that it would be a bit boring if he was kind of grumpy and angry the whole time. So he chilled out a little bit. And when we cast Seth, his thing was Neil Young. He said that he watched a load of Neil Young interviews and decided to channel. What was his term that he wanted to use for Paul?
Actively
laid back. That's it. And we worked with Seth before we shot the movie. We worked with him in LA, and we did the whole film on video in performance capture suit with that. You know, we just in a kind of taped out room, because we knew Seth was going to go off to do Green Hornet, and we wouldn't have him on set. So we had to figure out a way to do it actually on the day, which is to have Joe Latrulio, who plays Agent O'Reilly, the genius that he is, came in and read Paul. So he
read him on his knees.
He was on his knees. He had the knee pads framed, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. We gave him some knee pads, and at the end of the shoot, we framed them. And he got that as a rap gift.
But it meant that Paul could improvise with us, because Joe's a very adept comic actor. So if we threw anything out there, he could come back at us. You know, if you have a script supervisor or an AD reading it, you're never going to get that kind of interaction. We needed an actor. It'd be very hard to hire an actor just to be on set. Although, who told us Spielberg was saying that the such a
Steven Spielberg.
Jesus Christ, sorry, Speely Pants. Was saying that Charles Fleischer, who played Roger Rabbit, was actually on set the whole time for Roger Rabbit, which is a thankless task, but Seth couldn't be there anyway.
I was thinking of the scripts of a supervisor on Roger Rabbit just reading his lines off. Please, Eddie. And then Bob having to... Just give me something, please, more than that.
I can't imagine a more difficult system of somebody writing it down while somebody stands over the other person's shoulder.
You know, sometimes you'll have a couple of ideas in a row that the other person will go, and you start to take it personally, and then you have a fight. But generally speaking, it's a fun process. We get into work, we chat a bit, we go on the internet for a bit.
We laughed a lot.
Laugh a lot.
Sometimes we'd write one joke really early and then piss off home.
The day we thought of Lorenzo Zoil, Nick thought of Lorenzo Zoil. I have to give credit where credit's due.
I was home at 11.
11 o'clock.
That's a good.
I think we went to the cinema, didn't we? We took the week off after that.
We went off and watched Deja Vu.
I would just like to ask about how Timothy Dalton came to accept the Hot Fuzz script and say, you know, fuck, that's a good script. So
that's pretty much it.
That's a nice question.
2 words: Flash Gordon. You know, we loved his Prince Baron. He always looks good with a tash, and we just thought we needed someone who was sort of elegant and imposing, and we loved the fact that he'd been James Bond, and you know, we sent him the script. It was a pleasure.
What was he doing the last time you saw him in LA?
Last time I saw Timothy in LA, he was chasing a dog up the street. I was staying in this house. It's not a great story, actually.
It's a great story.
That's basically the punchline is, I heard this, come back, come here. And I looked out the window, it was Timothy Dalton in his
I think if that's not his dog, what has that dog done to elicit James Bond chasing him, saying, come here, you! With a big thing of sausages in his mouth.